Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of us, all of who are joining in from different parts of the world. I am Sonal Kapoor from India, representing Protsahan India Foundation and our work. We work with adolescent girls from completely vulnerable backgrounds in India. The data on violence against girls in India specifically gives some very startling facts. About 7,999 out of the 8,000 abortions in India were of the girl child. In the slum neighborhoods where we work, adolescent girls have been completely neglected by parents and community. Most of the girls that we work with or have worked with, the biggest stressors that they have, in terms of violence is child sexual abuse, child marriage, and child trafficking. And it is these core problem points that we are trying to fight with what we do. We believe that a sustainable solution lies in understanding this intersectionality to empower the agency of an adolescent girl who is constantly disempowered at every step. And this intersectional solution, we believe, can be brought about with not education which is achieved in a silo, but along with education, key life skills, healthcare and nutrition, and very critically, child protection and gender justice. We were founded in New Delhi, India, about 10 and a half years back, with a very core purpose to end violence against girls and heal them from the trauma caused by it through, again, the intersectionality of education, healthcare, and gender justice approach. The vision is to impact about 1 million girls by 2030 and make the world a safe place for them by eradicating all forms of violence and abuse against them. With a very, very unique heart model, which has been recognized by the United Nations, World Bank, Harvard, Chicago University, and so on, we strive to break the intergenerational cycle of violence, abuse, and intergenerational poverty with holistic healing. So HEART, that you see, is an acronym that stands for Holistic Healing, Education and Life Skills, Art Interventions, Recovery from trauma, and technology-based trainings. These are a few pictures just to show you a glimpse of how we work through the entire HEART model, where we use technology, where we're using creativity, where we're using theater, where we're using camera, photography, dancing, each and every form which comes together to give her very, very specific learning outcomes and to make sure that she kind of wins over that intergenerational cycle of violence and poverty that she's a part of. This is the HEART model that I was talking about. We believe that when we combine these 5 elements as healing, education, art, recovery, and technology, we can, we've been able to, in the last 10 years, been able to work with 72,000 plus children every year through direct, indirect programs. And we've rescued about 928 girls from different points of violence. And we believe that when you work with a very creative, holistic, intersectional, and empathy-based approach of the HEART model, we can, eradicate sexual violence. To give you more details about what we do in the program and what is a basic results-based framework that we follow. The first goal is to reduce inequalities and to be protected. The second critical goal, which is also exactly coherent with the SDG 4, is where we provide them with basic STEAM skills for employability enhancement if she's 18 and above. If she's less than 18, then we focus on also the fact that she gets tuition support to achieve higher education in the areas or in the schools that we've enrolled her now in. Excelling as champions is the third and the final goal, where we believe that once she has been protected, the inequalities have been reduced, and she's basically been able to survive and go to school. Then we give her the leadership development training with very, very specific and some fantastic partners like Girls Who Code, UNFPA Comics, Child Rights Coalition Asia. The idea, again, is to deliver results at scale. Yes, the numbers and the mandate of the children that we are working with, the numbers are huge, but let's not forget in this race to achieve scale, the depth of the interventions for one girl loses track. That should not happen. This is the impact that we've been able to achieve in the last 10 years, where the girls that we've worked with directly through our individual centers in the urban slums, 100% of those girls have been able to end violence, specifically sexual violence, and about 72% of the girls were able to achieve enhanced economic productivity. Specifically during COVID this year, it had disastrous consequences for children, specifically from the vulnerable backgrounds. And we partnered with UNICEF India to kind of create this entire psychosocial counseling program through a toolkit, through a manual for the childline workers. Childline is a helpline, is 1098 or 1098 as we call it. It's a helpline where children who are abused under different circumstances can call this number and avail assistance. So we trained the caregivers through this entire program that we built for Childline and UNICEF this year. This particular program that we very specifically developed for children during COVID has proved to be a fantastic resource for not just children themselves who are more than 12, but also for parents and caregivers who take care of children of less than 12 years of age. We trained over 3,300 plus caregivers and frontline workers from Childline and a lot of other institutions on the specific psychosocial training manual toolkit program. And these caregivers, once trained on these basic skills of empathy, psychosocial counseling, etc., have been able to work with over about 100,000 girls and boys using this program. We helped work on the three core areas of listening to the child, comforting, and reassuring, all with different sets of toolkits, activities planned, the entire plans of how caregivers and parents or frontline workers in some of the fantastic, biggest organizations in India could then use this program to work with the children. Thank you, HundrED, for having us, for having Protsahan present its heart model of working with children through a lot of intersectionality, empathy, and creativity, to make sure that they are not broken individuals, to make sure that healing is possible and that we are taking care of our children, not just to the fact that, that schooling or enrollments, yes, that is important, but also making sure that they are complete individuals as they move through this pandemic and otherwise, and, deal with a lot of trauma and help win over that trauma with this empathy and psychosocial skills. Thank you.